Hit that like, comment below, subscribe if you got the time. It's your boy Casual with Sign A Podcast. And for this, let's get straight into it. By now, you've already heard the likes of Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley are rumored to get it on October 25th, 2025, over in the UK. And a potential, keep busy fight for the likes of Joseph Parker. Honestly, a good step up match for the likes of Fabio Wardley. We already know what's been going on with the Usyk and Joseph Parker negotiations, right? Usyk claiming that he's injured and wants to get an extension on negotiating this fight, pushing it out. And, Joseph Parker, the fighting man that he is, he just wants to stay busy. He just wants to get a keep busy fight. He really just wants to fight, right? He said it on plenty of interviews over the past few weeks that he just really wants to fight at this point. Yes, he wants his shot at the title. Yes, he wants his shot at Usyk. Yes, he really wants that shot at Undisputed. But the writing is on the wall that the powers that be, the business of boxing that be, it's just not aligning right for the likes of Joseph Parker, right? He's just not getting his shot at this time. And, blessings to him and shout out to him that he's just he's staying true to the craft, staying true to the sport of boxing. You know what? At this point, he just really wants to get a fight, get a scrap. And that's the best thing to do when you've been sitting around for a little bit, right? You don't want to get that ring rust. He hasn't fought since February. And that was even a quick fight at that, knocking out the likes of Martin Bakole pretty early. You got to stay active. You got to stay busy because what could happen? You sit on that shelf. And then when your card does get pulled, when that fight finally does come through for you, you're not in the best shape that you can be in to give yourself that best fighting chance. Now, with that said, this is a nice little fight for Joseph Parker. This really isn't a keep busy fight, in my opinion. We do know it's not the fight that he wants. We know that he wants Usyk or at least that WBO, strap, that title shot for himself to be two-time champion in the heavyweight division. But it is what it is at this point. Until Usyk releases that strap, vacates it and drops it. Right now, him and this Fabio Wardley potential matchup will be just that, a keep busy fight. Now, with that said, that's a dangerous scrap. It's a nice little fight, right? It could go either way. I do favor Joseph Parker. I think he should beat the likes of Fabio Wardley. Fabio's, his stamina isn't really there, but at any given time, he can turn your lights off. And at any given time, he will put himself back into that fight. And more importantly, he himself is a fighting man and will never give up. This is a nice keep busy fight, but a dangerous keep busy fight. Again, favorite Joseph Parker, but at some point, we really got to give Joseph Parker his respect for at least taking respectable fights in the meantime, while he's been really waiting for his shot, right? Look at his past few opponents, man. He's went from Deontay to Bronze Bomber Wilder, Zhilei Bang, Martin Bakole, which was supposed to be Daniel Dynamite Dubois at that time, but we all know what happened. And, went to Martin Bakole, dispatched that man, and now he's going up against a nice, hard-hitting, up-and-coming top contender in the likes of Fabio Wardley. And more importantly, the rumored to be, the fight will be over in the UK. So in the backyard of, his opposition. This man's got to be honored for at least the fact that he's taking good fights, good keep busy fights, even if you want to call them that. The fact that he's been respectful the entire time throughout these negotiations and waiting his turn, and just at this point, he's saying, forget it. Let's get a real fight going. Salute to that man, because real fighters live here. Real fighters, rest in the heavyweight division, and don't wait around. Don't get that ring rust on you. That's something that we've really promoted for the likes of many fighters. Don't just wait around for that big payday, that big fight opportunity all the time, right? Sometimes you got to make your own lane and carve it on out and show them why you are a legend and why you are deserving of that fight, even if the business of boxing doesn't want to give it to you. Joseph Parker, salute to you for taking this fight. Fabio Wardley, salute to him stepping up for this fight once it's signed, sealed, and delivered, because both of these men have a lot to gain and a lot to lose in this kind of fight, right? Joseph Parker obviously could possibly lose his entire, title contention, especially if the belt isn't vacated and given as a vacant fight or vacant title shot for this fight between him and Fabio Wardley, for that WBO strap. Let's just say Usyk holds on to it and says, hey, I'll fight you after the Fabio Wardley fight, after he, gets out of his injury. He could lose his shot here. If he gets beat by the likes of Fabio Wardley, all that waiting around, all that, dangerous fights that he's taken, again, with some of the hardest hitting men in the division, some of these last minute fights that they've thrown his way, some of these last minute obstacles they've been trying to put in, front of Joseph Parker to really kind of hinder his career. He's thrived in all those situations, and then come in, he gets beat by this up and coming contender, the likes of Fabio Wardley, in his backyard. And then the work has to start back over, right? Don't see it happening, but this is boxing. It's a heavyweight division. Anything can happen. That's why I got to salute Joseph Parker for taking this kind of fight, trying to sign up for this kind of fight, trying to negotiate this kind of fight at this kind of time in his career. You don't see a lot of men who are contenders trying to do this. And then on the end of Fabio Wardley, right? Contender status. He's trying to grow his name, grow his brand. This is the kind of fight that can set you back pretty far, especially if you're not at the level yet to take on the likes of a Joseph Parker. You just seen what he did to the likes of a Martin Bakole. Now, with that said, Martin Bakole, yes, was not in the best of shape. 48 hours out, flew out. But at the same time, that's a hard-hitting man who arguably was or may still be kind of the boogeyman in the heavyweight division. The way he spars, the way he can put his shots together especially when he's on the inside. We saw what he did to the likes of F.A. Ajagba. Joseph Parker dismantled this man in no time. That could be you come October 25th, 2025, if you're not careful, if you're not ready, if you're not prepared to step up to that high level. But with that said, October 25th, if this fight's finally signed, sealed, and delivered, and we get that scrap on that date, and it'll be best if we can get it for the WBO strap. That'd be awesome. That would be great for the likes of Joseph Parker and his brand, and for Fabio Wardley, getting him a title contention shot, a real world title contention shot at that. I think we're going to see a great night of boxing. I think we're going to see two men honor the sport of boxing and show us what real fighting men do, where real fighting men live in the heavyweight division, and give us something to at least watch, entertain, and just, admire the sport of boxing as we see two good men, two good fighters. And honestly, I think it goes via the way of knockout in this one. I don't think this one will see all the way through one way or the other. If I had to pick it early, I got Joseph Parker knockout between rounds 6 through 9. No disrespect to Fabio Wardley. I think just Joseph Parker is on a different level, and he's grown a little bit more into his strength, into his power. He's put on that good extra weight. He's been lifting heavily. And I definitely like his leg workouts that he's been implementing, generating that good extra power for himself. He's already had the boxing IQ and skill set, but adding that extra oomph and the way he can play certain shots now, really impressing me. And I just think that veteran fighter is just on a different level for the likes of Fabio Wardley. But then again, still, don't get me wrong, Fabio never gives up in a fight. Never gives up in a fight, is always there, and is always one punch away from taking your lights out or stealing this fight completely just by elevating his boxing level to match that night of Joseph Parker. Again, that's what makes boxing great. That's what makes these fights great, and that's what's going to make this fight great. October 25th, 2025. Either way, that's the news right now. I'm here for it. Let us know what you think. Hit that comment section. Hit that like button first. And more importantly, subscribe if you got the time. We appreciate that love. Until the next time, peace.